ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Hello and welcome back to the ESL Pro League. I'm Danny, I'm joined here by Jordan Mays, and we are going into the second series today between NRG and Rogue. If you're just tuning in, we had SK taking on Mental Black Ghost here. It was
they're so ghostly that you
they just kind of disappeared into the visceral there, but they played Inferno 16-13 and then Cobblestone 16-6. Very convincing showing there on the second map to SK, taking it 2-0 in the series. Yeah. And now we move into what might be thought as a very similar sort of matchup here.
Yeah, we did always feel like match number one was going to be relatively like one-sided. The first map was always going to be a little bit closer, we thought, as well, given that Inferno has been a map that hasn't had the success of a map like Cobblestone for SK. So yeah, look, I think the first match was more or less the expected result. Now, coming into this match between NRG and Rogue, I'm not really so sure what the expected result is, because obviously on paper you look at it, NRG, they're sitting in 7th place. They're doing pretty well so far this season. I always say pretty well. It's not amazing. It's not world-beating, but it's not poor. And they're sitting in a decent spot, which is 7th at obviously 28 points. And so they have that opportunity to climb into the 6th position. But then Rogue is there. They kind of placed in 13th, second last, essentially, given it's a 14-team league. But they actually haven't played quite as many matches as everyone else. I think they've still got 4 maps. They're like 2 matches behind, so 4 maps behind. So maybe there's a bit of a chance for them to climb here a little bit, but I'd say on paper, when you just look at that, when you see where they're sitting in the standings in relation to each other, you'd probably be thinking, yeah, okay, NRG would be looking for the 2-0 here.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how the maps will play out for this evening. We do have Rogue taking on NRG on Nuke. And then moving ever so eloquently onto Mirage there, and you'd probably favour NRG onto both of those maps, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would say you probably do. Now, Nuke is a bit of an interesting choice for me because that is technically Rogue's map pick, and they don't really play it, and they don't really win it when they do play it. So I think part of the reason why we do see that one coming through for Rogue is that NRG doesn't really play it all that much. You know, they have actually not played it at all so far in this season of Pro League, and in general it's one of the maps that they do tend to avoid. So yeah, I was a little bit surprised to be seeing Nuke come out in this map pool. I'm not really sure who that's going to favour. I suppose coming into it, it probably does favour Rogue, because they came into today with the intention of, or at least the thought process that maybe we do play Nuke, and so they must have something prepared for it, or at least you would hope so. But then Mirage, we move on to that one, and like that, really, it's kind of the same old story, really, as what we saw between Ghost and SK, where map number 1, the underdog's pick, it's kind of a 50-50 for their opponent and could be a close map. And then map number 2 is like, okay, now we're on like pretty much our opponent's best map. In this case, Mirage is one of the best maps for NRG on paper. And yeah, that's going to be a bit of a problem for Rogue, because pretty much every time NRG's played it this season, they've won it. They've lost it only to CLG, and that was a 16-14 as well. So a very, very close result. And just in general, not even just in Pro League, they're really strong on their map too. Yeah. So I think NRG's in with a pretty good chance of picking up Mirage.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of CLG, we do see over on the mainstream there, they are taking on Luminosity Gaming, taking Cobblestone 16-9, and they're actually into overtime onto Case. So check out the mainstream if you want to see that matchup. But here we do have Rogue on NRG, and I think we both sort of favour NRG at this stage, don't we?
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know how much I'm going to favour them. Like, am I prepared to call a 2-0 like I was for SK? I don't know. I mean, I feel like
the disparity isn't as big.
Yeah, the disparity is definitely not as big. So maybe Rogue's good enough for one here if they get off to a good start on Nuke. It is their own map pick. Let's say NRG comes into that one and don't really have a great idea of what they want to be doing. There is that opportunity potentially. I would still be leaning, like, if I was to say a 2-0, you know, if you said which team do you think would get a 2-0 if there was a 2-0. Obviously, I'm going to be taking the safe bet there for NRG. I think that it would be them. And I think it probably has a reasonable chance of being a 2-0 tonight here for NRG as well. But it's going to come down to map number 1, really. Like, if it's do or die on map 1 for Rogue. If they lose that, then it's done, basically.
Well, just look at the lineup that is taking on this Nuke map today for Rogue, and obviously that second one as well. You see a couple of really stalwart names in Vice and Shinobi, and you also have Hiko and Cadian that's just kind of slotted in there. So I mean, individually they do have the power to kind of take it. Maybe not take on the top tier teams like your SKs and your Optics, but they can definitely challenge this NRG lineup.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that this team is not having as much success as like the individuals would necessarily dictate. I probably would have expected them to see them a little bit higher, at least towards middle of the pack, lower middle of the pack, as opposed to basically at the bottom of the league. So I don't know. Yeah, individually speaking, you look at that roster and you think, cool. But
cool.
I don't think it's really meshing together for some reason. It just seems like something's not quite working now. Again, I have to say that I haven't been watching as much NA Pro League this season as I have been last season, because I haven't been casting it as much. But yeah, I'd be very interested to see what a lot of people's thoughts are on that team.
Yeah, just going through that roster for Team Rogue, it will be Shinobi, Vice, Wrath, Hiko, and Cadian. And over on NRG, Fugly, Breezy, ANJ, Cirque, and Rico. Rico and Hiko, that's going to be a lot of fun for us today.
That definitely is going to be a bit of an interesting time for us. But yeah, like for NRG, I think that they are looking pretty good across the board, so they should be good. The 2-0 Danny, I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say I think the 2-0 will happen here for NRG.
I'm
but I'm
backing the 1-1.
prepared to be proven wrong. I'm prepared to be proven wrong.
I think Nuke might actually fall into the hands of Rogue there. I mean, NRG also has that kind of like, a lot of CSGO teams do this. They have that, depends what kind of NRG does show up. And most of the time you do back them. But if they do give a little bit too much towards the favor of Rogue, I mean, having said that, Rogue, the only wins they've had against was that kind of lacking question mark Immortals lineup, the staggered one, and then Ghost. So their wins haven't really troubled anyone towards that top echelon of the ladder here, but this might be an opportunity to kind of stave their run in.
Yeah, and it'll be kind of a stabilizing match for Rogue there as well. Like if they were to win this one, or if they were at least able to win one map and get that extra 3 points up above Ghost, that's kind of stabilizing them a little bit from the very bottom of the standings, which is always good news. And from there, baby steps. You stabilize first, then you realize, okay, well now we're one map win behind whoever's sitting in position number 12. Let's see if we can try and nab that one away. Now, there's not much time left, admittedly, in this season.
Not much time left at all.
But Rogue, I think, has, like I said earlier, have got a couple of extra matches to play. Yeah. So, obviously, this is one, and then, there'd be another one probably this week that they're going to be playing. Yeah,
they've only played 14, and some of these teams played like 20, right?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I think they played 16, but basically the same sort of a scenario. They have matches to catch up on. A lot of those teams have played 20. And they're coming into it now with a few matches under their belt, ready to see if they can save themselves from that relegation situation. But I suppose there's time to find out here as we do head into Nuke.
Try to do something magical. We'll see. Cadian can be one of those players, right? He can just absolutely go huge, or just kind of fall to the side and be a bit quieter. Going back a couple of seasons, which is an absolute lifetime in CSGO, he was definitely in and around that kind of top tier.
It is crazy how much things change in 2 seasons. Even from last season of NA Pro League, we've got the same teams, but the players are just like, what's going on here? It's just all over the place. So, yep, that's love. That's the life, I suppose, of esports. Really, is all those roster changes all the time. Cadian, lots of kills come out really quickly. Favors the CTs at this point. NRG starting off okay. Hiko's managed to find one, but apart from that, NRG are in a good spot, and as Wrath team kills Hiko somehow with a headshot.
Yeah, Hiko found one. It's like, hey man, we're gonna go for like a 5-man reverse ace where none of us get anything, and you ruin that. So, pops him in the head and takes him down. Not too sure what happened there. Maybe it was through the smoke, but nonetheless, Cirque the only one to go down. And that opening round, quite convincing fashion there for NRG. Nice little aggression there, Cadian with the flash. Pre-fires the corner, but doesn't quite get his aim correct. Nonetheless, the opening round does go to the CT side. And Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Rogue can bounce back here, because we know how much the swings can happen here on Nuke.
It's not great news, though, for Rogue. I mean, starting on your T side, if you can get the pistol, it really does alleviate a lot of pressure. It puts your economy in a good spot early on in the piece. It stops the CTs from building up their economy very early on. And these are two of the key things that you want to have going for your T side when you're on a map like Nuke. Now, admittedly, the map has changed quite a bit since, obviously, the rework, which was a while ago now, really. But it's a bit more T-sided, so it's not the worst scenario for Rogue, but it's always nice to start off with the T pistol and almost being able to deny the bomb plant there. Probably could have, but doesn't.
Yeah, actually missed a couple of shots there with the FAMAS as they were crossing him down from Secret, but he managed to stay alive, drop a player, and now it's a 3-on-5. Nonetheless, they do get the bomb down, so hopefully they'll be able to get something happening. FAMAS recovered 4 Vice, and he's doing a little bit of work with it there as Caden actually manages to find one. Daps, the bomb has been on. They need to get on this defuse. I don't know if he's got an angle onto it, but nonetheless doesn't make a difference as Daps will clean up the mess. Defuse coming in now. And 3 up, managed to retrieve the Scout and the FAMAS as well. So,
pretty good.
Yeah, works out in the end for NRG.
All right. Breezy, what are we going to go for here? Probably just M4. FAMAS gets dropped and Daps decides to buy himself and M4. So that's cool. Rogue with just the pistols.
Yeah, nothing to invest. They got the bomb plan. They can get a pretty healthy buy coming to the next one. So they upgraded quite a bit of utility and pistols in that last one here. Just trying to find something Daps manages to open up onto Shinobi with that M4. So not the best of starts, but here's a bit of a throwaway round here for the guys on Rogue. Playing more importantly for that all-important first rifle round. Interesting little shimmy nade there. Actually doesn't find Vice, but if he'd peeked that corner, it might have done quite a bit of damage, as he's just waiting for someone to just kind of peek him. Utilize that P250, close distance, get a couple of shots off. Maybe find himself a frag. This spam through the smoke actually dinks ANJ, but only takes him down to 57. Good old pistol nerf. Good times.
Yeah, I think it was deserved, though. You know.
Yeah, it definitely balances the games somewhat, as we actually do see Vice finding a frag there. So evening up the numbers and manages to take that Breezy quite low as well, and can't get too much work done with that FAMAS. So the FAMAS is dropped and is very recoverable. Hiko will go and pick it up, but there is no armor on him. So aim punch, a bit of a factor here. But speaking of
updates,
once again, not that much of a difference. And Dabs manages to find an easy one onto Vice there.
It's still salvageable here for Rogue. Like, they've got an M4, sorry, a FAMAS rather on Hiko and some decent positioning, but they just need to find that bomb. They need to find one more pick, right? If the next pick goes the way of Rogue here, then they're in an opening, but it doesn't, as Fugly finds one. Cirque does go down to Wrath, and the bomb will actually be planted, so maybe the pick is what they needed. That was the opening. It wasn't necessarily the next pick, it was just a pick to open things up. And now Hiko in a 1v2, but we know he's good in those clutch situations. Not this one, though. Fugly will take him down. That's a pretty good round, actually, out of Fugly. 3 kills for him, 2 for Daps. Doing the lion's share of the work.
Yeah, and manages to take 4 nades into that next round as well. Obviously, a couple of them picked up, but still, it's interesting to see where players fully kitted with nades and a very clinical clutch there for the guys on NRG.
But it'll be a really good buyout here for Rogue. They got the bomb down last round, they got the bomb down previous round, they got full AKs, a pretty decent amount of utility. In fact, I thought they were going to actually have a little bit more, but they must have invested more than I thought they did in round number 2. Anyway, it's still not a bad buy, and we'll see if they can make use of it. It doesn't look like it's going to be a real execute. There's probably not that much utility to play with. So we're probably relying on the aim still here for Rogue if they enter into the A bomb site, which it seems that they will. And Ange is just hiding behind Squeaky Door right now. And Shinobi enters the site, and not much getting done from the CTs at all as Rogue just walk in and pop heads.
Yeah, just absolutely destroyed there. Shinobi and Wrath doing a great job on the entries, and Cirque does have that open hand right now, not too much play for, so just going to go towards their shot and just try to save it. Actually opts to go towards Hell and see if he can get away, and the hunt should come out here from a couple of these healthier players. Absolutely no reason not to go for that AWP and take it out of their hands here, as Shinobi actually is making a lot of noise towards Heaven. Cirque just needs to sneak out of here. Actually gets defended there by Daps, taking him out, and will both retreat to CT, but I'm sure the information has been given out there. we'll see if they kind of flood this area, but at this time, they have turned the corner. It might be very difficult to get there in time, and Vice is actually just checking everything, not sure where they are. So looks like they'll be able to manage to save these guns going to the next round, but very convincing entry from Wrath and Shinobi up onto that upper site to bring up Rogue's first round. So AK's come out once again. The economy's not too bad for both sides at this stage. We'll see a decent buy coming up from the two, and very important round here now for NRG to kind of straddle out and equalize that economy, hopefully.
Yeah, those were some pretty good entries from Shinobi, but I really thought Ange was just walking all over the bomb site. I'm not sure what he was doing.
Yeah, it was a bit of 6s and 7s, wasn't he?
Like
it eventually just got taken down without putting up a fight.
It almost looked like he was just lagging around and was just not seeing the T's. But anyway, it is what it is, so we'll find out, I suppose. Still around for Rogue. We'll see if they can put 2 and 2 together. Maybe it's not quite going to be that, as we do see 2 kills for Cirque. And so he's the king of the 2s right now. Does go down, though.
Yeah, so very aggressive picks, but gets the 2 for 1. So it really, it kind of worked out. Does manage to lose that AWP and all those. So, you can question whether that's worth or not, but he has put the numbers in favor of his team, taking down Wrath and Cadian to make it a 3-on-4 situation there. And now the round just slows down straight away. Not too much left to work with. A couple of mollies there, but no smokes or flashes to enter onto one of these bomb sites. So it looks like a bit of work has to be done. One of the big entries of the last round, Shinobi, is also taken down to 14 health. So it's his bullet away from death. This is going to be a very difficult round to save.
Yeah, but one pick could really just open it up again for Rogue. It's again a little difficult to tell where those CTs are. Dax is on upper. He will get Hiko, but the bomb's rotating around through Secret into outer, or is it under? I think it's under. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm pretty sure it's under. Shinobi's not going to have a great time here, though, as he makes his way up and just gets wrecked. Breezy as well. Find the frag. Daps gets Vice. And so NRG secure a round win. Rogue have a lot of money, though, after having only won 1 round.
Well, we do get to see that AWP onto Caden, and we'll see if he has anything to bring to the table this time around. He really does need to find something, bring something, and string together a couple of rounds for Rogue here, as they will be put onto the eco if they drop this one. Just trying to find something towards Vents there. The door has been blown off, but looks like it's not going to get too much, as ANJ will smoke off that angle. So not too much garnered here for the T's, as Hiko makes his way towards Trophy, and Fugly holding this ramp area. They haven't really made too much of a push towards him as of yet, as they're maybe just waiting for Kaden to try to find something here.
Don't think he's really going to be able to find too much. Shinobi might be under pressure from Ange in just a second, and they both are, but it's a 1-for-1 trade overall. 3 versus 3 as Cirque comes around from the corner and just go down to Cadian. I thought he spotted out Cadian, and he did. I think he tried to take the duel, and obviously that didn't work out too well for him. 2v2. But the bomb not yet planted here for Rogue, and that incendiary probably isn't going to cause too much of a problem for them, as Cadian will cover off Heaven. Bomb is planted. Now favourable for the T's.
Yeah, I thought Kaden was actually watching that line towards Annex, but looks like Cirque just kind of walked straight in there, got a very easy kill. Probably should have had the opportunity to get the second, but got traded out. So 2-on-2 bomb is planted down. Both players have kits here, and that single smoke left onto Dap. So we'll see if we can find anything, but not giving away an inch right now. Kaden's has actually made his way towards outer, and we'll find an easy frag onto Dap there. So nice work from him to kind of really be a nuisance there and change up position and keep NRG guessing, and that in turn wins them the round.
Probably wins them a couple more rounds as well, to be fair, given that's going to be a bit of a sticking point for NRG's economy here. I'm not sure if Dap's already bought up. I think he did, so they should be able to get a buy through, but if NRG lose this one, then they're going to be basically on a full eco, and even this is more of a force buy than anything else out of NRG. They've got a couple of CCs. The AWP in the hands of Cirque, and he did hit a couple of nice shots last round, but went down before having really too much of an impact.
So once again, just bolstering onto that upper bomb side. This time not working as well as it did in that previous round that they got on there and got the entries. It just gets shut down straight away. Breezy, Fugly, and Dab staying alive, and a nice 2K for Fugly there. So you know, just trying to change up the pace from that last round, just bolster onto that side, maybe try to get those entries, but really not working out at all and just completely shut down. So 5-2, bringing it around, and that really awkward-looking buy actually comes up trumps in that last round for NRG.
Yeah, they didn't make it look awkward at all. It was just the rifles and the AWPs were doing work, putting the right positions at the right times, and Rogue ran at them and said, please, let's fight. And I guess it worked out for NRG. And they are up against a bit of a force buy again here. Like, Rogue have got a couple of AKs, some Deagles, pistols. It's just been really weird. Like, the economic game here in Nuke in this round, or in this match, sorry, just doesn't feel like sort of standard. You know, it seems like everyone's kind of able to buy a lot, even though like the rounds are going one by one, but yet both teams still seem to have like 7K on some players, and I'm just not sure how that's really happening.
I did notice that as well. Shinobi is the only one that manages to get a frag, as it does get traded out. Kaden and Hiko do a bit of work. He needs to find this next one to give himself a one-on-one chance, but it will go down before I can even finish the sentence. So it looks like we might actually see
this
the
looks
eco.
a little bit more normal.
It's going to stabilize.
Like, they lost a round, or so they won a round, lost a round, won a round, lost a round, and now finally they're on an eco.
They are.
So it's like, okay, we've established some semblance of sanity here on Nuke. NRG though, like, they're pretty happy with how proceedings are going right now, whether it's crazy or sane. Like 6-2, you really can't complain about that. Up against an eco. Maybe even a double eco, actually, given the money that Rogue had at that point. So, yeah, unless they decide to force into it, like they can. Anyway, we'll see. But yeah, like NRG, at the bare minimum, should be up 7-2 after this. And admittedly, they are on the CT side, so you expect them to be having a bit of a better time than the Ts, but still progressing quite nicely.
Yeah, Fugly just absolutely using the fire ring rate of that MP9, just shredding through, and Dabs also gets one for himself as well. Doesn't get traded out by Hiko's Glock though, and they're Breezy there to back him up with the M4. So bank made for these players, at least finding a frag or two each with these SMGs and Shinobi. He knows where Fugly is. He can get an easy kill. I thought he almost whiffed that for a second, but manages to find him. Doesn't retrieve the gun though, and at this stage he's just waiting, biding time for his death now. Breezy is very low, and he only picks up the MP9. Because they are the only ones that have been dropped. So, unfortunately, no rifle for Shinobi there. Breezy is very low, but they don't need to give anything away right now. Does have 100 health, throws away his last nade, and doesn't have any armor. Good luck, Shinobi. Good luck,
Shinobi, yeah. I think that's what he needs right now. Cirque is just watching the angle. Easy kill for him. 7-2. 10-3 for Fugly, 10-3 for Daps. It's going nicely.
Yeah, fairly solid stuff. And they managed to hold on to all three of those rifles as well, just dropping the MP9. So, you know, just really going well. Not perfect, but... You know.
So, yeah, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. It's good enough. And Rogue, not really struggling for economy, but obviously struggling for rounds.
Yeah, it's a bit of a... It's interesting to watch him play, right? Like, it doesn't seem like there's so much structure. The way they can control the tempo well, and looks like they have some, like, quite a good semblance of what they want to get out there. But just the coordination there, I think the pace was set was when Hiko got TK in that pistol round. As Fugly takes a couple of shots and drops off, gets the information, and retreats back to that low bomb site. But yeah, I think maybe just that T counter Hiko just summarized everything, right? Like, just the unity isn't quite there yet, whereas NRG play very well as a unit, as we see the bomb making its way towards lower.
There's a couple of players down on that side of the map, though, for NRG. Daps is in a pretty decent position as well, if Wrath does decide to push into Annex, potentially. But the B-bomb site, more or less, has been secured by Rogue, as they're all just chilling up on the walkway. Cirque, though, does get one, and another. While I say secured, bomb site was not secured. They had control of the site, but they didn't clear any of the CTs off.
So Vice has his gun out, and Cirque opens the door, scopes in, and manages to find that frag. So maybe just a little bit of sleep there, and Cirque having a great round himself with that AWP. Manages to get 8-2 for his team. That was, he really probably shouldn't have had every opportunity to every one of those steps and then find the frag and drop the bomb. Really. And pause comes out. This is actually the first pause we've seen all day.
Yeah, it is. I suppose it's a tactical pause. It would make sense at this point from Rogue. Not sure how long a tactical pause actually goes for in NA Pro League.
Ooh, this is. I'd love to do this in VR, right? That would get your balance soaring. Very
Tactical pause for Rogue.
Very Scorsese-like, right?
NRG.
Flowing cam.
NRG tactical pause to Danny.
Yes. That's interesting, right? But maybe just some, you know,
I think
to
perhaps
let things slip. I don't know.
they did leave the B-bomb site pretty open last round. Like, it was pretty easy for a Rogue to actually get into the site. So maybe that's what NRG are having a chat about. Obviously, things went pretty well still in the end for NRG, but...
I've just heard that's just the wrong side there. It actually is a Rogue.
Oh, okay.
So it makes much more sense.
Yeah, which does make more sense.
Good theories from us, though.
It was a good theory, you know. Like, I like to have a good theory craft, and...
Absolutely, but yeah,
Anyway,
NRG right now, nothing really to, yeah, a couple of holes, but I mean, they're winning the round, so really nothing to change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and Rogue, be interesting to see what they can come up with following this round. Just a couple of CZs, actually all CZs throughout the board, Armor, and a couple of flashes on Wrath and Hiko. Fugly, getting a little bit close here, getting a little bit aggressive, maybe a bit too cocky. These CZs could absolutely destroy him like a paper shredder here, but he will get the one on, might find the spray down. No, he gets taken down, but gets a nice, I was going to say deuce, but that sounds gross. Brace. Gets a nice brace for his trouble.
You still said it.
Yeah, but I prefaced it by saying it is gross.
Like, I'm not going to say it, but...
I'll say it anyway.
I'll say it anyway. And that makes it okay.
Yep, exactly. It's like saying no offense, but, you know...
No offense, but I'm
really
about to offend you.
Wrath here has spotted out Breezy. He's going to close the quarters. Gets an easy kill! Oh my goodness, I thought I was going to whiff that. Gets down to 12 HP. Manages to recover the gun. Traded out almost instantly, though, by A&J, and they have the last frag coming out from him once again onto Shinobi. So 2 kills to end out that round. So 9-2, fairly clinical stuff. We'll see. That was a bit of a throwaway there. Not throwaway, but I mean, you can do a lot of work with those CZs, but,
yeah.
You know.
It wasn't guns.
Yeah. Now they have guns. Coming off attack pause, we'll see what they can come up with. There's a lot of experience here on this team. There really is.
Yeah, but it's not coming through right now. Like, 9-2 is starting to become dire straits. Like, it's kind of like this round now for Rogue. If they don't pick this up and start to build this first half, they're going to come into the second half with an awful scoreline and probably just end up losing Nuke off the back of the first half.
Whoa. Okay, Cirque, the aggression there gets punished by Wrath, and rightly so. I mean, if you're going to do that, get the kill or bend the knee. So just off the back of that, just slowing down straight away. And actually don't recover that orb. Opting to go for the AKs. Dabs finds a nice one pushing out into Mini. As Wrath, you know, nice little peek onto Foggy there. So a 4-on-3 situation. They are in front at the moment. Still Liberty Utility. They actually have 3 more, so they can really clear out whatever side they do choose to go to. And it looks like they will be heading towards upper here as Wrath and Hiko really close it out. It's just down to Dabs, who's been doing great work there. You know, getting into awkward positions and finding these frags. And a couple of these players are low, so if he finds Vice and Hiko with a couple of bullets, he might be able to clutch it out in the 2-on-1 situation. He does have a kid in hand, but he's got no utility. He makes the way to heaven, and I think he's done it like a ninja. They don't know he's up there yet, but just really...
Like a rogue?
No, because he's an NRG. Mate, where is the Star Wars pun for this last map, mate? Well, I guess in theory you still have one more map, and Dabs here might find one onto Wrath there, so that is actually one of the higher health players, but the bomb has been ticking away for so long now. If he goes for it, it will be very difficult considering he still needs to find 3 frags. No matter how low they are, will get taken down by Shinobi nonetheless. And just so you have some context there, if you're just tuning in to watch this NRG Rogue match, my co-caster, Jordan Elfish Guy Maze, the amazing Maze, has been on a bit of a Star Wars spiel at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he caught this Rogue 1, or Rogue Loss.
Rogue Loss, yeah.
And the next map, Mirage, was in NRG and Rogue. I've given him a good solid hour or so to think of a pun.
I'm not coming up with anything.
You got to deliver goods,
Does it have
man.
to be an NRG pun, or can it just be another Rogue pun?
It's got to be affiliated with these 2 teams, but it would be nice to share the love. But
like, you could be like
Rogue isn't even a pun. You're just using the name.
Yeah, I know.
So, like,
I didn't say it was a pun. You said it was a pun.
Anyway, Rogue 1 looking more and more difficult.
Like, I want to do something with like the energy shields, you know, like shields on a ship, and it's like going into map number 2. We'll put all power to the like.
Oh, I actually have a great segue, but I'm not going to give it to you.
Oh, do it!
I'll tell you. Oh, it's not great, but it's something. It's something to use with NRG. But Just over a minute left on the clock. Mods will rein in. Then they check this corner. He's completely flashed. Does manage to lose his life to Shinobi as Cirque actually gets the trade through. Finds a second as well, so doing great work. Cirque has been in actually quite a bit of form here on Nuke with that AWP in hand. 3-on-2 situation. There you go. Finds Cadian as well. And Wrath and Hiko. Hiko has been a bit quiet this game, but what a time to come alive right now. At this stage, if they do manage to get 9-6, that'll be a great taking. Looks like they're just going to play for this retake here. Wrath needs to find Fugly, but loses out that map. And Hiko, nice little one-tap onto Cirque, taking out the AWP, and the 3K player who has been in the form right now. Just a little bit weird towards that heaven position. Managed to flash himself out. Fugly doesn't want to give anything away. He's on 22 HP. He's a very easy kill right now. He's going to get set upon from Hut there. So now it's just down to the 22 HP player. And there you go. Hiko of old clutches out the round with 5 HP left.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you peek someone one by one and they've got an AK. And he just hits his headshots. So I don't think that that was the most difficult of clutches from Hiko. Yeah, Kurst, of course, 1v3 is quite good and he hit his shots. But really, NRG peeked him one by one. Yeah. And they've got only themselves to blame for that one.
I think Cirque might have just miscalculated and his head was showing when he didn't really think. But
yeah. That's definitely true. But the positions that they were in were not great either. Like, one guy coming in from Annex and one guy coming in from Mini is like, how do you both peak at the same time if the guy's playing behind the silos? You basically can't, assuming he's playing correctly. So, obviously, Hiko kept himself in a good position, and there was really only an opportunity to take 1v1s.
Yeah, I mean, just on the way this is going, we see another attack pods coming out from Rogue. You have them, why not use them? 4-9, if they get to 5, a 10-5 is actually not that bad.
They should get 5.
Yeah.
It's a pistol buy coming out here for NRG.
So not the worst result, really, considering how lopsided some of these rounds have been.
Yeah. Want to tell me about that NRG punt?
You have to come up with it first, mate. It's actually really bad. The more I think about it, the worse and worse it gets.
That's what I want to know about. That's what I want, you know?
Well, all right. Well, I'll throw it in somewhere. We'll see if you pick it up, which you almost will because it's going to be terrible. But we're going into the 14th round here. 9-4. Yeah, I was going to use it there, but no. Yeah, that was it, mate. Can you figure the subtle Star Wars hinting there?
All right. Oh, goodness me. Well, there we go. And she does find one on Decadian.
It's a nice start there. He's going to get mollied out, so it makes his way, breaking the vent. Will give away his position. Cirque just trying to find something. So it's a 4-on-4 as Wrath manages to take down Ange from that fence position. And a little bit of team damage done with that molly. And I believe it was the molly? No, it wasn't. It was just shots fired at him. 2-on-2 though, nonetheless.
Hold the press. Yeah, Daps and Fugly find a killer piece. Breezy here has got himself just a P250 and now no longer that. It's all down to Fugly, who has had 1 kill with this Eagle, but chances of him getting much more is somewhat unlikely. He has to basically just dry peek this into Hiko. The molly does mean that he doesn't even have a second angle to peek from, but realistically at this point, the time is getting away from him, and the rotations have come across the positioning. The post plant is pretty good from Rogue now with that crossfire setup. So Fugly, the best you can hope for is probably 1 more kill. Maybe he'll get a trade out, but not the
opens
case.
the door to his death.
Yep, Rogue 5, NRG 9.
So NRG should be able to get a buy across it with no AWP, as I'm pretty sure the top player had 4.7k. No, there is an AWP. He's got dropped before I could snipe that call. So Cirque gets his AWP in hand, and we know he can just be absolutely devastating for this Rogue lineup in this last round of the first half. NRG and Rogue, 9-5. Let's see if they can get to that 9-6. 9-6 would be an absolute dream, really, just on the way they started.
Yeah, considering how it ended up after the first, say, 10 rounds, you would have expected Rogue was probably only going to get away with maybe 3, 4 rounds on their T side. But now they have that opportunity to get 6, and it'd be a good comeback here on the T side if they were able to do that. 3 rounds at the end of the half, assuming they get this one. Perfect.
I really wanted to play some Nuke the other day, and I went onto my matchmaking, right?
Yeah.
And it literally ticked over to like 28 minutes. I just left it there. I wasn't that keen. I was just like, oh, if he comes up, he comes up. And I just gave up.
That's a shame.
No one plays scrub level Nuke. It's really heartbreaking. I guess it's a very frustrating map though, right? If you're going in solo queue. But I digress. Very slow round here coming out from the guys on Rogue. Just really changing up the pace. They haven't really pushed too far around. They do have control of outer, but really not so much going on. As Fugly does take down Hiko and Vice managed to find Ange. He just you know, checking that cubby position, doesn't find too much, gets taken from behind, so it looks like he's quickly getting shut down. Foggy does get taken down to 19 health. Shinobi finds 1 though, but it's going to be very difficult. Spots out Foggy, who's on super low, but manages to get away 1 the better. So there you have it, the half is done. NRG close it out.
10 and 5.
10 and 5, yeah, I mean, I think both sides are happy with that, I guess.
I guess if I was NRG in that situation, I probably wouldn't be too happy.
Yeah, I was saying if anyone, it'll be NRG. That's a bit like...
Yeah, exactly. But NRG, they've got enough to play with here in the second half.
Yeah, so we'll see where the 10-5 score ends up just after this short break. Hello and welcome back to the ESL Pro League. We are currently at halftime on the first map between NRG and Rogue. It is 10-5 to the favor of NRG, who are now hopping onto that T side. We'll see if they can keep that form going. And right now, it's definitely NRG's map to lose.
Yeah, it is.
What was that sound?
Yeah. It's Rogue's map. But it's NRG's to lose,
Yes.
if that makes sense. And I get what you mean. I just thought it was a funny way of saying it. And yeah, NRG, I definitely think are in a bit more of a favourable position here. But in saying that, like, 5 rounds on your T side, it's probably enough. It's going to come down to the pistol round here as well.
Puts a lot more importance on the pistol than you'd want it to.
Exactly.
But still, I mean, there's an opportunity there. But NRG had a great defense there, putting up those energy shields and deflecting all the attack coming in from Rogue. See, now I've stolen it. You have to come up with another one.
That's so rude. And it wasn't even good. You didn't even do it good.
Yeah,
That's
it doesn't
all
matter. I just needed to waste it. I needed to throw it away, so now you have to come up with another one. Just for context, before I hop into the second half, just really quickly, he needs to come up with Star Wars puns to name these maps. That's about it.
That's about it.
He's doing a real bad job so far.
No, I'm doing a really good job. Mirage is going to be energy shields to full power.
He thinks calling this first game
energy shields to full power.
Rogue One was good.
That wasn't good.
Got the team of a name.
That's what started it, though.
The name of movie. 3 letters you did.
Energy shields to full power.
How does that work into this game?
Because when we move on to Mirage, NRG is just going to lock that out. Now it's going to be like they put up the blast shields and everyone shot at them and nothing happened. So their shields are to full power.
And what if they lose?
Then they need R2-D2 to fix the shields.
I know it's like esports and all, but this is getting a whole level of nerdy that's actually making me uncomfortable.
How?
But let's hop into the second half of Rogue taking on NRG. I think NRG will be...
Who doesn't like a little bit of R2-D2?
Will be quite comfortable heading into the second half of this map, and if they don't, they can call upon their energy, like the Force.
You make me sad, Danny.
The opening frag coming out to Rogue. Wrath finding ANJ with the USP to the face there for on-5 situation. So a nice little start to try to stave something off and build up those 3 rounds to get to that all-important 10-8. Because right now, if they do go down that, like you said in the first half, they're trying to manage that economy on the CT side. Losing the pistol is going to be very difficult there. Is Katie with the Julius gets taken down by Cirque. So this is flipped on its head straight away. 3 very quick frags coming out, and the players are tagged, but not really that low. It is now down to Hiko. He has retrieved those dual Berettas, and Vice They don't have a kit, though. There might be one dropped nearby, but it looks like they're just going to go in. Just have to try to find these frags. These post-plant positions are quite strong, and it is thrown to situation. That bomb's been ticking for a little while. Hiko spots one, but does give away his position there. Needs to find this player. Does manage to find the head onto Breezy, holding into Toxic. And now they know exactly where another player is. Vice is going to have to play with this door here. Cirque finds a nice one with the Glock closing down the distance. Absolutely devastating pistol from that range. And now it's just down to Hiko. They know where he is. He's just going to be chasing Cirque. Now Cirque will go down, but the time at this stage is all but gone.
Yep, it is. And Daps actually spots out Hiko. Unfortunately for Hiko, despite the fact that he does win that duel with 1 HP left alive, he is going to end up losing and probably dying to the bomb. Nope, just gets out of there okay.
So manages to hold on to that body armor though, which is okay, but they do lose at that all-important round, and now the economy is going to be, by the time they get all set out and straight, this map may already have been gone. A couple of AKs coming out. Galil on AJ. I always find it interesting when the player gets second round Galil.
Why is that?
I'll just go AK or SMG. It's just kind of like,
yeah.
I don't like middlers.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
no man's land,
you want one or the other.
Yeah, commit, friend. Just like Elfish's ex-girlfriend said.
What?
I don't know where that's going. I'm just pointing out that I'm assuming, because I know nothing of that your last relationship fell apart due to commitment issues, which is probably definitely not the case at all, considering you're probably like 14 at the time.
Wow. I was like 21. Thank you very much.
We digress. It is just Cadian left.
You digress. Don't bring we into this.
Bit of a shutout round nonetheless for the guys just running into their death storm. Cadian with a single P250. Does he have anything left facing 4 players? I mean, the only thing you could wish for is if he finds Cirque, gets a bullet off and retrieves that AK, but I don't think that will be the case. And just as we watch Cadian try to, you know, get away with a sneaky couple of kills, tell us about your last relationship, Elfish. I just got curious now.
What?
So you're still quite young. 21's like last year. I
2
just
years
realized
ago.
I'm being
I'm
completely...
23.
This could be in a really, really like depressing thing for you. I'm bringing it up.
Not really.
No, it's all good.
No.
Whatever. You
Yeah.
just wanted to go out there and use your eSpats fame.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just go on the prowl, mate. That
That's
bachelor life.
it. Yeah, that's it. Look, I had all the e-girls jumping at me, and I was like, let's go. That's the life I want to live. Definitely, Danny.
Okay, so now it's just... And Cadian does go down to AJ, so that is all but gone. We're still waiting on that Star Wars pun to name that next map from Elfish Guy. But it's okay. 12-5. We need to see some magic. One of these characters from Rogue needs to really bolster up and carry them. Yeah. Maybe it might be Shinobi 1 Kenobi. Who knows?
You're still stealing all my memes, Danny. I like it. I like it.
All but USPs right now. This is a complete throwaway, maybe an opportunity to talk about the strats heading into the next one, but they're on the CT side, so there probably isn't too much to talk about. I like the cluster here towards this ramp room. Might get a couple of frags, but really just these stock pistols against armor. We all know what they do. Nothing.
Yes.
Good opportunity to talk about your relationship again, though.
Isn't that a bit weird? We're on broadcast.
It is a bit weird. I don't know. I'll just ask you off stream. But then it gets all emotional and we both start crying.
Yeah.
Here at least it's a proper conversation.
Again.
Yeah, that gets awkward. Let's not get back into that again.
I just want to see more NRG taking free control of the A-bomb site. It's not really what I want to see, but that's what's happened. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I guess Rogue stacking that ramp room didn't work out.
They committed to the ramp room with two
Vice's. What the heck happened to that molly?
It hit the wall, bounced back, and then
it was like someone force pushed it, and then someone force pulled it, and then it landed and it exploded in the air.
Scrape in the barrel.
No.
Force pushed and force pulled it.
Well, it went forwards, and then it went backwards, and then it wobbled around a bit.
So, like, there's absolutely no contact there. Eco actually manages to recover an AK, so really based on what's going on, the fact that they get 2 kills and an AK,
yeah, that's
and they literally didn't bank on anything and did a strat towards ramp that didn't pay off at all, as Shinobi does get taken down, and Hiko actually loses the AK. So, you know what? Scrap that. Total waste of time this round.
Yeah.
Oh, no! He gets the UMP.
Yeah, the UMP is good, I guess. They would rather have the AK, but still a buy is going to come through here for Rogue. And there's, of course, going to come through for NRG. Let's have a look at this. Do we get to see this
if you
again?
look at the line, it's...
No, watch the next one. The next one was even worse.
that's
the next one was the one that wobbled everywhere. and then exploded in like
they're
nowhere.
practicing, right? They haven't moved to the X-Wing yet. They're just practicing with the mollies.
The
And then
mollies.
once
They're
they
practicing
get
with
good,
mollies to be in an X-Wing.
no, to move the X-Wing out of the swamp. They got to work their way up. Yeah, I'm saying their force skills aren't that good yet, but this is really, really bad. We're meant to be CS:GO gamer nerds, the cool guys on the block.
Cool guys.
Yeah, not compared to like
Star Wars is cool.
Yeah, not if you know this much about it though. I don't think. So.
I remember when I thought you were cool, Danny.
Yes,
anymore.
there was a period at least.
Yeah, when I didn't know you.
That's a win. So 5 on 4. Daps will get down though, and considering that one of the players does have the UMP, nice start for Rogue. But at this stage, they are on 13. This looks like it might be a bit of a whitewash, and NRG just takes down Shinobi once again. Vice. This is just a bit all over the place right now. How did Vice get into that position? Just take him down, or actually, what was NRG doing so far forward? But the bomb is down. 3 players. 2 in towards Toxic.
That's cheeky. That's cheeky because they're going to check it. They're going to find Breezy, and Fugly's going to just be chilling there. They might not actually end up seeing him, and that might end up winning the round here for Rogue. Sorry, for NRG, if Rogue just aren't aware that there could be a second player in that Toxic area. Cirque still with the AWP as well is going to cause some problems, and at the moment, that bomb timer is just ticking away very, very quickly, and let's see what happens here. Fugly still remains unchecked, and
just
it doesn't matter at this point anyway. Like, Cadian's not going to get anything done there.
That would be interesting to see, though. Very cheeky indeed. And also give Breezy the opportunity to just kind of be super aggressive, right? Didn't need to hide. He actually wanted to bait something and ended up getting a kill nonetheless. So, works out. 5-14. Cadian taking that AWP into the next round. He's been very quiet with it, though, and at this stage, he needs to find the next level, really, if he wants to kind of stave this map for this team. But I think they might just be thinking of Mirage at this stage and trying to go for that 1-1.
Can't think about Mirage, dude. Blast shields are up. NRG.
So Nova on to Hiko, which is interesting to see where he plays with those. Wrath actually goes straight down to the AWP Cirque. NRG shields is like...
NRG shields to full power. That's Mirage.
I just...
Close
it's not really Star Wars-ish. Like everyone has energy shields.
Yeah, well, Star Wars has it as well. Just ask R2-D2.
You're better than this. You're like, I'm just disappointed because I know you can do better.
Yeah, because you stole Shinobi 1 Kenobi. It doesn't make sense, though, because he's on the other team. We need an NRG one.
That's true, actually. The Rogue one lends itself. Actually, their logo looks like potentially a Jedi.
It does, a little bit. Like maybe...
Sick to the stomach.
Maybe
how much Star Wars we're talking
Jedi,
about here. So 5-14. Looks like NRG will be making its way towards that upper bomb side here. It's going to be relatively free as that one player gets taken down. Hiko, unfortunately. Kenny just giving away his head position. Just a bit too far forward. We saw this last time, and they know exactly where he is. So, Vice just trying to do something, just goes in dry. Not even peeking. And Cadian, we have seen this before, is just going to run to CT spawn and save that AWP. But there's absolutely no reason not to hunt at this stage. Still a bit of time left on that bomb there. Should get spotted out. Trade should come through if they do have that instinctual nature to go towards CT. It looks like Cirque is heading his direction.
What about Anglican Skywalker?
Nice there. Pick advantage for Cirque there onto Cadian. Anglican Skywalker is actual, like, just like, leave. That's terrible.
Whoa.
Anglican Skywalker. Whoa. Oh my god. Okay, so clearly...
you find a better one then.
I will. Yeah? Maybe during the break, because we are about to go. We are in match point. 15-5. We did... you know what? Actually, to be fair, I did say it. I thought Rogue might have had something up their sleeve, but this has been absolutely shut down now. And just going into the map pick of NRG, or at least their favorite map, even if it wasn't their map pick, is going to be very one-sided, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't see too much happening right now.
All right, well, let's have a look and see whether or not Rogue is going to be able to salvage any more than what they got in that first half. Only 5 rounds.
Hey, did the production team just throw you a pun?
Yeah.
That's cheating.
They've been throwing you the puns, man.
They gave me Shinobi 1 Kenobi.
Yeah.
Can't believe we didn't think of that.
Yeah, I can't believe we didn't think of this one either.
It's really bad.
We'll talk about that one after, though. It's a good one. I liked it.
15-5. Pretty decent buy coming out from the CTs. They need to string together 10 rounds, so to even just take it into overtime. And, you can't put it past any professional team here, especially with the likes of Hiko. Look, come collected, but it is a bit too much to ask. You're going to throw the pun, aren't you?
Vice Chancellor Palpatine can end up being a Sith Lord and the Emperor of the Empire, Rogue can get 10 rounds here and bring it through to 15-15. I believe. Vice Chancellor Palpatine only able to get one before being traded out, and that's definitely not like what we saw in the movies. But overall, the Empire still
That's like his title, though. It's not even his like character name. Doesn't really matter. It's just down to NRG here onto Catwalk.
And Chicken Skywalker.
We're just losing all credibility. The very little credibility that
we didn't have any anyway, man.
It's just gone. So AJ just floating around towards his 7th position. They know exactly where he is right now. It's just a matter of time before he gets taken down. Kaden will be the one to shut him down, to actually give them some signs of life. They do take the 3 guns into the next round as well. So, you know, they should be able to buy up all rifles in all hands this time around as well. But still, once again, that 15 is always so intimidating a face, and the economy is still quite healthy. Pending this round, they should be able to get a decent, somewhat quasi-buy into the next. To Rogue, they need to string together 2 or 3 to try and make it easy, and then they might be able to get to 10. They might have a game on their hands, but really, I mean, I think this is just kind of like the last kicking before the neck breaks.
Wow. That was pretty intense. NRG look like they're setting up for a topside execute. At least all the glass is being broken, but I guess they do that every round. Not sure yet if they've actually decided to line up some smokes. Daps is going to throw a flashbang over, but that's for outer. Not a whole lot going on towards inner.
It's a bit of a slowdown here from NRG, just making sure they clear out and just give themselves every opportunity to try and approach one of these bomb sites. Vice is actually holding towards garage there, and he hasn't really been spotted. Just watching Catwalk, he might be able to get a nice little kill here. He hasn't given anything away about his position, so just pretty standard stuff coming from both sides here. Rogue doing quite well. There is still just over 40 seconds left, but to hold on to their nades into this later part, just kind of reading into this play quite strongly. But Wrath getting taken down, a bit of an open position. Breezy just try peeking in, finding the frag. Manages to find the second onto Hiccup and Rafters. 2 trades come out, but it's still 3 into advantage. Cadian and Vice, the only ones left. Cancel has a bit of utility, but will go down very easily to Cirque. So it looks like after a decent start and stay back in that last round. 3-on-1. Vice, he has got the molly. Cirque is watching that angle though. Might be GG very shortly.
Might indeed just be, as Vice pushes through that smoke, and then we have it 16-6 is where we will find ourselves. NRG proving to be victorious there on a Nuke. And Danny, we thought it was going to be maybe close on Nuke here, given that it was Rogue's map choice, but I think the problems that I outlined beforehand for them having, given the fact that they don't really play the map, have come to the fore there.
We thought, yeah, I mean, the assumption was that, you know, they came into it thinking, hey, you know, we don't play this map, but they don't play it either, and we'll just try to pick off their weaknesses, but NRG absolutely brought it. And it's up their sleeves like, hey, you know, we're actually pretty good at Nuke, and they've definitely shown that as we have a look at the highlights reel here.
Yeah, Shinobi 1 Kenobi going ham. First one.
So yeah, not too much to take away from NRG. I mean, we saw it, everything, you know, that we stated in terms of like, you know, NRG's ability plays unit that just really kind of outpowered anything to bring in. And if Rogue would have any kind of a chance, we need those kind of players to kind of, those one-out players to bring something.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just, like, there wasn't really anything to take away there for NRG in that first map. I think, like, Hiko had 1 or 2 nice clutches. Apart from that, though, like, where was anything coming from for NRG? Like, yeah, okay, they got 6 rounds, but it didn't feel like they were really ever in that contest, if that makes sense. And I think moving on to a map like Mirage, which NRG has like an 80% win rate or something in this season of Pro League on it, it's really not looking like it's going to be a good scenario here for Rogue.
Yeah. I mean, this is almost mimicking...
It'd be like the Star Wars movie where they all died at the end. Rogue won, they all died.
Oh, I feel like I'm just, you know. So, there was a bit of fear that Elfish got here as we come towards the conclusion. Nice work from Cirque. They actually popped off this game. I mean, there you have it. You know, we could break a lot of it down, but going to the second map, I think we're going to see a lot of the same. It's actually kind of funny. I'll come back to that Star Wars thing, that it's mimicking that first sort of run with SK and Ghost, where it was kind of like the map pick. Every had every kind of chance for Ghost to take out. They did fall eventually 16-13. They go into the second map, which is the map pick.
Yep.
If this is mimicking that and they get 6, I mean, we're going to see like a 16-1, 16-2 going to Mirage. I mean,
Probably,
if they drop both pistols,
I think that's probably a little bit unrealistic.
Yeah.
You know, like Mirage is a map that pretty much everyone should know how to play, right?
Absolutely.
So a 16-1, 16-2, that's only going to be a pretty extreme case. Maybe it's possible, but that'd be like you're on a bad day, sort of.
yeah,
thing. So,
a real bad day. But yeah, I think we could expect to see like a 16.
yeah,
It's
a bit like
something.
16-6 again would be somewhere. Like, I mean, 16-6 or 16-10, I think, is a fairly kind of open, broad sort of a prediction. But with a map like Mirage, I mean, coming into it, we really should expect to see Rogue at least know their way around it and have a decent chance of picking up, you know, like a 5-10 half or something like that again, which would be not too bad. Regardless of the side, it at least gives them something a little bit to work with, and maybe it peters out a little bit towards the end there. And yeah, like 16-8, let's say.
Yeah, so yeah, not too much. Should see a mimic of performance, if not a tad strong one from NRG. I mean, Rogue, they string together a couple of pistols. You know, this is the best 2 series. Things can change. They might be able to revitalize themselves, but we need those players like the Shinobis, even Hiko and Cadian to really come up, especially with that AWP in hand on Mirage. You know, that does lend itself to some AWPing, but just got to touch back on that Star Wars point you dropped earlier, mate. So, you know, Elfish Guy actually owes one of our viewers a Star Wars pack because he ruined the series for them. And now he's just done the same thing with Rogue One because that's actually a movie that could be ruined for people.
That's like a year old now, Danny.
At Elfish Guy,